German economy slowing down. Come on in, James Carafano with the Heritage Foundation. Look, it's chaos in Europe. I think we all got that. Here's my opinion. I think it's caused by socialism, which is not sustainable. I think it's in its, I'm being dramatic, but I think it's in its death throes in Europe. What say you?
I think that's a fair point. If you look at France, for example, the revolts in France are not anti-socialist. They're actually these are riots by people who want something for nothing, and they're complaining. Now, in this case, I think they've got a legitimate issue. These tax hikes are ridiculous. But typically in France, when you try to bring economic freedom, the labor unions and the students go to the streets. They like the system, but it's not sustainable. And this is, if there is a thread that goes through all of this, it is fundamentally the European problems from Brexit all the way through Italy, all the way into Central Europe, are lack of economic freedom, lack of governments really delivering, lack of transparency, lack of real economic growth because we're not letting the markets work in Europe.
Absolutely, James. But what's the solution here? I don't think the Europeans have a solution. All I see is a spiraling down, and it will be made worse as Europe heads towards a complete slowdown and maybe recession.
Right. Maybe the Europeans will follow Winston Churchill's. Winston Churchill, we talked about the United States as Americans will always do the right thing after they've exhausted every other possible option. The future of Europe is not sustainable at the current rate, but this is where I am optimistic. I do think that this populist strain has broken the hold of the elites on Europe, and there's space there to work. And I do believe as long as the United States is committed to the transatlantic relationship, from a security perspective and from an economic perspective, we can see Europe through the troubled times, and I can see economic freedom, the lights coming out on the back end, because Europe will have no other alternative if it wants to move forward.
Tell me about Brexit. When the vote was delayed, we got that news about an hour and a half ago, the market, our stock market, headed straight down south. What's the problem with the Brexit vote and our market? Show us the link.
Look, I am not going to sit here and try to explain what is going on in the U.S. market. It's nuts. I don't think, it's almost like find me bad news so I can go down because, people are going to the holidays and they have the doldrums. I don't think there is a realistic link there why the American market would plummet. Markets don't like uncertainty. They certainly don't like global uncertainty. There are few things more uncertain than the future of the British government. So that's fair, but I don't think it's a I don't think it's a responsible reaction by the markets.
All I'm going to say is I'm very thankful that I'm here, New York City. James Carafano, Heritage Guy, thanks for joining us, sir. We'll see. You got a lot of work to do with us in the